So Forza Horizon 5 just added FSR 2.2 in its newest update, which is the latest iteration of FSR currently available, and it released exclusively to Forza Horizon 5. For those of you who don't know, FSR, or AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, uses cutting-edge upscaling technologies to help boost your frame rates in select titles and deliver high-quality, high-resolution gaming experiences without having to upgrade to a new graphics card. Basically, it noticeably increases your frame rate with an almost indistinguishable loss in image quality, and sometimes better image quality in certain areas. Starting off, let's make this fun with a blind test. Before I tell you which is which, I want you to guess which video is FSR 2.2 and which is native. One is native 1080p, while the other is 1080p with FSR enabled at the highest quality. I have chosen both static and moving scenes to make the test comprehensive. I'll leave you for a few seconds to make up your mind, but before I tell you the answer, write down which one you think is FSR 2.2 in the comments, and let's see how many of you get it right.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
Are you ready for the answer? Here it is. The one on the left is native, and the one on the right is FSR 2.2. Congratulations for those of you who got it right. You win nothing, but you have an eye for detail. Now, let me tell you what I noticed with FSR 2.2 and if it's worth it. Starting with the image quality, I immediately noticed that it was softer than native, with the details being somewhat washed out for a lack of better words. If you look closely, you can definitely tell that FSR is not working well in this game, with native being easily superior in image quality. But what if we max out the sharpening? Will it be harder to tell the difference? So that's what I did. I set the FSR sharpness from its default value of 0.5 to the maximum of 1.0 to make both images look similar, and the results are clear. Even with the sharpening maxed out, it's still clear that FSR's image quality is inferior to native. A question that I know a lot of you are asking: is there any ghosting or artifacts? In my honest opinion, there seems to actually be fairly noticeable ghosting at the rear end of car tracks, especially in the shadows of the tire tracks. It seems like in motion, the cars have some type of visible trail that's left behind from previous frames, and this effect is exacerbated the farther the subject is away from you. And mind you, I didn't have to look for it, it was immediately noticeable. Other areas have glaring issues as well. For example, there's obvious shivering in both static and moving scenes, on car headlights, fences, foliage and trees, to name a few. It's really disappointing. Before we move on to the performance, let's hear a word from NordVPN.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. NordVPN, safely be you.
Here's a side-by-side comparison between native 1080p and FSR 2.2 at the highest quality setting. As you can see, there's not really that much of a performance increase. It's barely a 2 FPS increase on average. For me, the lowest performance I got is in the town of Guanajuato in this area. With native, I got 38 FPS in this spot. With FSR, I got 39 to 40 FPS in the same spot. And that is an insulting increase in FPS, if I may say so myself. To make the test 100% fair, I used the in-game benchmark to measure the performance by choosing the best of 3 runs on both native and FSR 2.2 at ultra quality without recording, and here are the results. Native got an average of 52.1 FPS, a minimum of 42.7 FPS, and a maximum of 63.7 FPS, while FSR 2.2 got an average of 53.9 FPS, a minimum of 44.5 FPS and a maximum of 66 FPS. That's around a 3.4% increase in average FPS and a 4.2% increase in minimum FPS. In my opinion, using FSR 2.2 is not recommended unless you absolutely need those extra frames. Also, make sure to max the sharpness slider to make it bearable. Overall, FSR 2.2 in Forza Horizon 5 really disappoints. It's one of the worst showings of FSR to this day, in both image quality and performance. I don't know what went wrong, the implementation or it's just the results. Older FSR iterations in other games have better results than this game. I really hope to see the feature being improved upon in future updates, because in its current state, it's simply unacceptable. And if you didn't know already, Forza Horizon 5 recently added TAA anti-aliasing option to the game. If you want to see if it's worth it, watch this video next.